Dhritarashtra by his trusted charioteer Sanjaya. Sanjaya was initiated into the third eye power of Dura Drishti and Dura Srishti. It's the power of remote vision and the power of hearing the remote distances. It is through Sanjaya's narration that humanity has received the sacred scripture of Bhagavad Gita. Here we have the Apta Pramana, which is the reference of the power of body scanning from the life of a Siddha. Tarayya was a Siddha and one of the prominent disciples of Agastya. One day, a man was suffering from a very severe headache and he comes to Agastya for healing. Agastya, using the power of body scanning, identifies the root cause of his headache and he reveals that there is a small tarai, a type of frog, sitting in the person's brain. Agastya immediately instructs Tarayya, his disciple, to perform an open head surgery and remove the frog. After the surgery is completed successfully, the person was healed and cured from his headache. Thus, the disciple has gained the name of Tarayya. Here we have the Atma Pramana, which is the personal account from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's life, while Swamiji himself has time tested and authenticated the science of body scanning. On the 22nd of December 2019, Swamiji reveals how he uses the power of body scanning. Paraphrasing of his own words, only when I had the multiple compound fracture, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore for medical checkups related to that. At the time, they detected heavy metal quantity in my different organs. It was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used diagnostic methods instead of medical facilities to study the body condition due to the poisoning. Through body scanning, I found out what the problems, imbalances which had happened, where the balance had to be done, and I used allopathy only as a second opinion to verify my findings. And here we have the Sakshi Pramana, which are the experiences and results of the extraordinary manifestation happening through the initiated disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And you can see here, we have snippets and screenshots from various social media posts where devotees have shared their experiences and breakthroughs, manifesting the powers of body scanning and the powers of remote vision. So with this, we're now going to be witnessing the power of remote vision, live demonstration of this power. And so along with us, Shivshankara Maharaj and Prabhakaranaya, both of them will be joining us for this live demonstration of remote vision. Yes, Aya. So, Prabhakaranaya, before we directly head into the power manifestation, could you please clarify for all the audience and everyone else who's doing this power manifestation demonstration, whether we have discussed or whether we have prepared for this power manifestation session? And is there some maybe some pre-discussion, or have we had this discussion before of the body scanning? And does Shiva Shankara Maharaj know anything related to your illness or anything related to your medical background?
No, Maharaj. So we did not discuss anything about this power manifestation, actually, especially about this body scanning and all. No, we did not discuss anything about this. I just directly joined for this session, actually. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's great. And so Shiva Shankara Maharaj also has no history or any idea of your medical background or anything about your medical history. That's correct, yeah?
That's correct.
Yes. So Shiva Shankara Maharaj connecting to Swamiji and being in the space of oneness, chanting the Mahavakya, is now going to be manifesting the power of body scanning. Scanning and Prabhakaranaya for any illness or giving diagnostic, not just physically, but spiritually as well. Shiva Shankara Maharaj has started chanting the Mahavakya, connecting with Swamiji, manifests this great power of body scanning.
Nithyananda Paramashivam Nithyananda Paramashivam Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Can I go ahead?
Shankara Maharaj, you can go ahead and share what was revealed to you in your third eye. Please go ahead, Maharaj.
Yes, thank you. So, very beautifully, what Swamiji revealed for Prabhakaranaya is he doesn't have any major issues first, which is affecting in his body, but he's always thinking that something will affect him in the near future. That is always coming up in his mind, which is apart from the body related, and his mind related is he's always thinking, will I get affected by some or other diseases in the coming near future? There's always a fear and there's a worriness which is there inside him. That's the first point which Swamiji very clearly showed. And the second thing is towards the stomach, I mean, we'll see that he's having a kind of a pain or a kind of a grudge, which is having that he's not able to control for some time, which is there. And on the neck region, he's always stressing himself there, either to sit. He has an issue in him that he's not able to sit in a particular posture for a particular time. He has to change and then sit and just walk around, or that is that. And we'll see that is always which is there in his lifestyle, which he's doing. And the third thing is sometimes he feels that there's difficulty in walking or difficulty in taking things. These both are there. Not for every time, but at times he feels that and he goes. And the last thing which I'm able to see is towards the right part of his body, maybe the right part of his face and behind the neck area. That's the thing, from the head towards the neck. So there's a kind of a pain which comes and then it settles for some time. Maybe during the evening and the night. You will see the exact these times, evening and the night, he feels this, and he feels the same thing, the dizziness which comes. And the main issues which I saw exactly, which I said earlier, is the fear that you are thinking that will I get affected by something in the near future, or what's going to happen, and that's the fear which is always there. I will see that. So Swamiji very beautifully tells that when now I'm diagnosing an issue and telling it to you, and while I'm diagnosing an issue or finding the issues which is there in your body, it's not just alone finding your issues and telling through third eye. When Swamiji's third eye falls on a particular person, immediately the healing also happens. The healing and the blessings of Swamiji also takes place. And first for this, and when I was scanning, there's a solution where very beautifully Swamiji tells there is a solution. What he tells. He tells that you have to drink neem juice every day. Every day, take 1 glass of neem juice and drink it. Do not miss, per day once. Take neem juice and consume it, 1 glass of it. And before you fall asleep, the haritiki powder, the powder which can cleanse your stomach and which can cleanse your whole system and the toxins or whatever the which is not required in your system, in your body, to release it out. Take the haritaki 1 teaspoon every day. So these two things, and the last thing is whenever you fall asleep, apply the vibhuti, the sacred ash, which you can see in my forehead. Apply that and just remember Swamiji, remember Shiva, or remember whatever God you like, whatever form of deity which you can relate with, or even though you are able to relate with Swamiji, it doesn't matter. So remember any form of God, any Ishta Devata, apply the vibhuti and just fall asleep. So even though through your mind, in anything related to your mind, anything related to your body also, which you're not able to control, you're not able to get into that, it will automatically get healed, and you will see the experience, or you'll see the healing happening right away. By today itself, you will see the healing starts happening. So these are the few things, Maharaj, where Swamiji very beautifully revealed.
Yes, thank you so much, Shivashankar Maharaj. Prabhakarnaya, is there anything you would like to say regarding what Shivashankar Maharaj has shared about the body scanning which he has done on you? Please
Yes.
go ahead.
Yes, Maharaj. So Maharaj, actually, he actually rightly pointed out the very first thing right now I am going through is about the fear. Yeah, because right now I am in Chennai, where that containment zone or number of people are getting impacted. It is increasing on day by day actually. So I feel like it is coming very closer to me, like every day. Like in my apartment, there was no cases at all. Last couple of days, like people are getting impacted, and somewhere in some other block, there was a person impacted with this COVID-19. And then slowly, like 2 days before, I got to know that I'm in third floor right now. One more case has identified. 2 days before, that was like a first floor. I am there in third floor, but 2 days before, one person impacted in the same block in the first floor actually. So I started feeling like it's closely coming towards me. So that thought is always going on. So Maharaj has rightly pointed out that I am always thinking about that, and then I started having fear around that COVID-19. Second, Maharaj called out about my walking, right? So what is happening is like I work for IT company, so almost every day, like 12 to 14 hours, I'll be sitting in front of the system and then just working. Sometimes calls will go for long hours, so I will not be realizing that I'm sitting in the same posture for very long hours. So what happens suddenly, if I want to take water, I'll just get up and then try to walk, but I'll lose the balance, because without my realization, I sat for like almost like continuously for 3-4 hours in the same posture. So I struggle, and then I lose the balance, and then I'll catch up actually for few seconds. That will be there. And then the third one, Maharaj called it mentioned about that headache, right? So definitely I go through that towards in the evening, late evening, or before I go to the sleep, because whole day I have been talking on the call. That is the nature of my work as well. Definitely I feel that like something is happening in my forehead to till back of my head actually. Some disturbance will be there that actually disturbs a lot when I go to sleep. That starts somewhere like towards late evening. So that also Maharaj called out clearly, and I'm fortunate enough to receive that solution also now. Like I have to take neem juice in the morning, and then haritaki powder, kadka powder in the night. So I'll implement that in my lifestyle, and then I think rest Samji will take care. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you so much. And actually, what Shivashankar Maharaj has prescribed, taking the neem juice and the harita ghee, they directly help and contribute towards the reduction of how much corona is possible to enter and penetrate your system. And as Devi Parashakti herself has said in the Akashic reading in the Arul Vakya, as long as you're my devotee, you'll be protected from this pralaya, from this corona. So you can be rest assured, yeah, that Devi's grace, Devi's blessings are on you, and that Swamiji is protecting you, protecting all of us from this COVID-19. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Aya. Thank you so much for coming today and being a
Thank
part of this Paramashivam station demo. Thank you so much, Aya. So with
Thank
this, yes. Thank you so much, Shivashankar Maharaj, as well, for coming today and being with us for this Paramashivam station demonstration. So with this, we're going to be entering to the next segment of today's program. Please stay tuned.
Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda. Paramashivam.
So now that we have seen the powers of Paramashiva, the live demonstration of the Shaktis of Paramashiva, now it's now let us now enter into the next segment of today's program, which are the Akashic readings. Understanding exactly what are the Akashic readings and how can we benefit from the Akashic readings. So the Akashic records are records which are created in space. Whatever has happened in time is there as a file. Nothing can be destroyed. Please understand none of your actions, none of your thoughts, plans, emotions, words, nothing can be destroyed. The Akashic records are the cosmic archives of everything which have happened, happening, and yet to happen. The Akashic records are the verbal, visual, five-dimensional document. Whatever is happening is continuously being recorded. All the information you collected from all of your births is in your DNA. You can access some of them just to understand and not to waste the time doing the same action again and again. The Akashic readings are not predictions. They are a reading from the cosmic archive. There is no such thing as past, present, and future in the Akashic records. Beyond space, creation and destruction happen simultaneously. In the dimension of time starts the past, present, and future. But in the Akashic records, there is no past, no present, and no future. And that is why what you call as happen, happening, and yet to happen are all clearly already recorded. In Swamiji's own words, nobody has the right to comment on these readings. Nobody has the right to manipulate these readings. Nobody has the right to interpret and comment on these readings. They are complete unto themselves. For anybody to live in tune with the cosmos, the Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment, they do not need any special practice other than listening to these great readings again and again. When you listen to these great readings, naturally, your negative logic is penetrated, broken, and these great truths settle in your inner space and they make you live enlightenment. As the avatar of Paramashiva, the supreme Pandava of Hinduism, has graced humanity with the blessings and darshan in the form of Devi Parashakti, revealing answers to questions to the yearning of seekers as solutions, breakthroughs, and liberating humanity from pain and suffering. Any answer given by Devi Parashakti is not just an answer, but a karmic breakthrough for the receiver. Here we have the Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural reference for manifesting the power of Akashic reading. Visiting from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, 61st Dharana, 84th Sutra. Akasham vimalam pashyan kritva drishtam nirantaram stabdhatma takshanat devi bhairavam vapurapnuyat. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, looking at the spotlight-strict space, Akasha, beyond the sky and clouds, one should fix one's gaze from the third eye without blinking continuously and make the body and inner space steady and motionless. In that very moment, O Devi, one obtains the nature and powers of the infinite space, Bhairava. Here we have the Sakshi Pramana, or experiences and results of the extraordinary manifestation of the power of Akashic readings, the remote vision, happening through the initiate disciple of the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism. And you can see here social media posts and sharing snippets and screenshots where devotees and disciples have manifested this power of remote vision. Few of the sharings where thousands of initiate disciples have manifested successfully the power of remote vision after initiation from the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism. Here we have the Apta Pramana, which are reference of the powers of Akashic reading from verified from authorities on Hinduism. In the Mahabharata, narrates a story of sage Maitreya, who reveals the secrets to Vidura, the story of his birth in human form and the reasons for all his sufferings. Sage Maitreya accessed the Akashic records and told Vidura that he was not an ordinary man, but was in fact an incarnation of Yamaraja, the Lord of Death. He was to play the part of a so-called Shudra for 100 years, being cursed by Mandaka Muni. And here we have the Atma Pramana, which is the personal account from the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, as he has time tested and authenticated the science in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's own words. Reading the Akashic records is just open the screen and it will appear. Originally, the Akashic records appear in Sanskrit and then gets translated into English during the process of seeing the scene and cognizing. That is why most of the English words which I use, the same words are getting repeated in the Akashic records because the seer, during the process of seeing, translating the scene. Because the seer is the person who's talking to you regularly in English, uses the same words to cognize and translate the scene itself. Sorry for technical glitch. Because the seer is the person who is talking to you regularly in English, uses the same word to cognize and translate the scene during the process of seeing itself. What are the benefits of having the Akashic reading? Only Navatar can alter the Akashic readings. The initiated Balsams can view the Akashic records. However, only Navatar can alter, edit, upgrade, and change the Akashic records. During the Darshan and Diksha, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blesses and upgrades the Akashic records as per the prayer of the devotee. So what can you ask in the Akashic reading? The most accurate and unbiased answer to any questions about your life, destiny, purpose, or any and every part of your life. Be spiritually healed of physical and emotional problems with just a look or a word. Understand the reasons behind your life's happenings and receive the blessings to fulfill your right desires. You can also have the Akashic readings rather to get the clarity to redesign your future. So here is some of the fundamentals or some of the benefits, understanding what are the cosmic archives. How can you benefit from having the Akashic readings written out for you? And what are some of the things that you can ask in the Akashic reading? And so with this, we're going to be moving on into the next segment of today's program, which is the Divine Feminine Consciousness, understanding about Devi Parashakti. Here we have the Dhyana Shloka of Devi Parashakti. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shaktya Prabhavitum Nache Devam Devo Nakashala Spanditumapi Atastvamaratyam Harihara Viranjadi Bhirapi Pranantum Stotum Va Katamakrita Punya Prabhavati. Lord Shiva only becomes able to do creation in this world along with Shakti. Without her, even an inch he cannot move. And so, how can one who does not do good deeds, who does not sing your praise, become adequate to worship you? O Goddess mine, who is worshipped by the Trinity. Bhavanitvam dase mai vitarad drishtam shakarunam itistotum vanchan kadayati bhavanitvam tadaivatvam tasmai visasi nija sayujya padavi Mukunda Brahmendras Vitamakuta Nirajita Padamam. If anyone has any wish in his mind to pray, you Bhavani, my mother, please shower on me a part of your merciful love. Even before he says you Bhavani, you, my goddess, would give to him the waters falling from the crowns of Vishnu, Rudra, and Brahma at your feet and grant him the eternal life in your world. Devi is the ultimate pure feminine consciousness. All great things start only with mother. Bhuvaneshwari is the cosmic mother, the cosmic womb from which billions and billions of universes come in and go out. Source where the Big Bang and black holes happen. Parashakti is the source of all of us. We all came from Parashakti, stay in Parashakti, and go back to Parashakti. Listen, we are all literally waves in the ocean called Parashakti. Parashakti is the source, source Shakti, source energy, source power from which all of us came, from which all of us are even now existing in which all of us are going to merge into. It is like a wave, starts from the ocean, stays in the ocean, raises in the ocean, and falls back into the ocean. We all start from Parashakti, stay in Parashakti, raise in Parashakti, drop in Parashakti, and finally merge and become one with Parashakti. Parashakti is the main deity of the sacred feminine. She is the divine consort of Bhagavan Paramashivam, who is the Lord of the Supreme Consciousness. Parashakti is the embodiment of the sacred principle of Tyaga. Divine feminine consciousness is unique to Hinduism. The unique contribution to the spiritual consciousness from the Vedic tradition is the sacred feminine worship. Even if everything from what Vedic tradition gave is lost, everything disappeared, and just the sacred feminine tradition is there, everything can be revived back. The whole thing can be revived because the feminine worship, sacred mother worship, is the seed of the Vedic tradition. Hinduism has at least 10,000 different sampradayas. If all the sampradayas are lost for some reason, and only this one sampradaya, the sampradaya of Devi worship, remains, the whole thing can be brought back because the whole thing is centered on this one, mother worship. Mother worship carries the blueprint, the hologram of the whole Vedic tradition. Sacred feminine worship is the hologram of the Vedic tradition. There is no enlightened being on the planet Earth without worshipping the sacred feminine, including me. I am basically a Shakta. I myself follow Devi worship. From the beginning, if you see my biography and all the deities I carved, the Darshan I had, they have all been mother-based, Devi-based. These are the direct words of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, delivered on the 17th of September 2010. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a great avatar, beautifully says, Shiva is Brahman, but Devi has the key to reach Brahman. Unless she opens, nobody can reach Brahman. Very beautifully, he describes the scene. Even though the husband is the owner, the key of the house will be on the hip of the mother. Either you have to fall at the feet of the mother, or the small sons of the mother. Only they can touch that place, the hip of the mother, and remove the key. Nobody else can touch. So either surrender to mother, or people who are close to the mother, who can reach and open the key for you. The divine cosmic beings are real, and they manifest from Kailasa, the enlightened time-space zone, through deities and incarnations. In Madurai, Paramashiva as Bhagavan Somasundareshwara and Devi Parashakti as Devi Meenakshi came down from Kailasa and established the greatest enlightenment ecosystem. In Madurai, Bhagavan Somasundareshwara graced the people of Madurai with various miracles, and he stays in a frequency where he can immediately assume human body and relate with you, answer you, respond to you, and raise you. This whole Shiva Leela in Madurai, beautifully Paramashiva reveals that in every time when he assumes the form to manifest certain powers and grace the devotees, he exemplifies the expression of certain sacred secrets that humanity can benefit from. Here we have a beautiful story where Malayadwaja, King Malayadwaja of the Pandya Desha, was revived from the dead. Once, when Lord Somasundareshwara asked Devi Meenakshi, why your foster mother does not bathe in the temple tank, please ask her to bathe and have the benefits, the blessings, and the sacredness of bathing in the temple tank. Devi Meenakshi goes and tells Queen Kanchanamala about taking bath in the temple tank. And Queen Kanchanamala then goes to learned men, to Brahmins, to scholars, and asks them what is the most meritorious mode of bathing. The scholars reply to her that it must either be taken by holding the hand of a husband or a child or by holding the cow's tail. On hearing this, Queen Kanchanamala became greatly afflicted as she neither had a husband nor had a child. Her foster daughter, Devi Meenakshi, reports this back to Lord Somasundareshwara, who, out of his love and compassion, and brings back King Malayadwaja from Indraloka and presented his respects to Lord Somasundareshwara on his arrival from Indraloka. Kanchanamala, on hearing the arrival of her husband, comes adorned with jewels, and both of them together bathe in the tank, after which they both leave to Indraloka with the blessings of both Devi Meenakshi and Lord Somasundareshwara, residing in Shivaloka for eternity. This is a beautiful story, how just on the request of his devotee, Lord Somasundareshwara, recalled Malayadwaja and brought him back to life from the dead. And here we have another story from the life of Thirugnana Sambandar. In Mylapore, there lived a merchant by the name Shivanesar. He was a staunch Shiva Bhakta. He had all the wealth but no children. In answer to his sincere prayer, Lord Shiva blessed him with a female child. They named her Kum Pavai. She was extremely beautiful. Shivanesar heard of Jnana Sambandhar's greatness and felt that Jnana Sambandhar was the only suitable match for his daughter. Mentally, he had offered his daughter to Thirugnana Sambandhar. One day, when Kum Pavai was gathering flowers in the garden, she was bitten by a poisonous snake and she died. Shivanesar even announced that he would give any amount of money to anyone who would revive her, but it was of no use. He then recollected that he had mentally offered her to Thirugnana Sambandhar. This instilled great courage into Shivanesar. He at once cremated the body of the girl, collected the ashes, and preserved them in a pot. Daily he would decorate the pot with flowers and so on, and sit near it and meditate on Thirugnana Sambandhar. One day, the news that Jnana Sambandhar was staying at Tiruvattriyur reached the merchant. At once, he erected a big pandal from Mylapore to Tiruvattriyur. Followed by Shiva Bhaktas, Shivanesar then proceeded towards Tiruvattriyur to meet Jnana Sambandhar. Meanwhile, Jnana Sambandhar was coming towards Mylapore, and Shivanesar and Jnana Sambandhar met each other on the way. Jnana Sambandhar had heard about Shivanesar and the worship of his pot, which contained the ashes of his daughter. He wanted to please Shivanesar by bringing the girl back to life. Once they reached Mylapore, after worshipping Lord Paramashivam, singing hymns, and coming out of the temple, Jnana Sambandhar asked Shivanesar to bring forth the pot of ashes. Jnana Sambandhar then addressed the pot. O Kum Pavai, by the very purpose of human birth in this world is to serve Lord Paramashiva and his devotees, and to feast the eyes by seeing the festivals of Lord Shiva. If this is true, arise in the presence of all. Are you going to go away without seeing the festival? Jnana Sambandhar then began singing a padigam to Lord Shiva, describing Kum Pavai's tragedy. As soon as he is finished with the first stanza, Kum Pavai immediately manifested and appeared. When he finished the 8 stanzas, she got her life and became a 12-year-old girl. When she finished the 10th stanza, she came out of the pot, just like how Mahalakshmi comes out of a lotus flower. All were amazed at this miracle, and Shivanesa and Pumpavai both worshipped Jnanasamudra. Shivanesa then entreated Sambandar to accept the girl as his wife. Sambandar already, however, explained that the original Pumpavai who Shivanesa had mentally offered to Jnana Sambandar was dead, and that the present girl had the relationship of a daughter to Jnana Sambandar. Shivanesa had to bow to the wishes of Jnana Sambandar and built an ashram for his daughter, where he spent her days worshipping the Lord and attaining him. Here we beautifully witness so many thousands of years ago, Devi Meenakshi, Lord Sundareshwara, assuming the human form, laid the Shiva Leelarnava, the miracles, powers, manifesting so many boons and gifts, fulfilling each and every need of their devotees. Not only that, but even after Meenakshi and Somasundareshwara left the physical frame and continue to exist as the energy, and through the Archavataras, through the deities in the Madurai Meenakshi temple, they continue to be a part, they continue to be available for the devotees, for the Shiva Bhaktas. And in the story of Tirujnana Sambandar, not only Paramashiva brought back King Malayadwaja, but he empowered his devotees as well. He empowered Jnana Sambandar to provide back, to bring back to life a fellow Shiva Bhakta, a fellow devotee of Lord Paramashivam. These are not stories, happenings which have happened so many thousands of years ago, but these are things which are happening even now. Even now, Paramashiva is very much available to all of us and playing these leelas with all of us. He has come down this time as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanidanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, and is continuing this great leela, the Avatar leela, with all of us as well. In this next segment, we're going to be listening to Akashic Pramanas, where devotees and disciples from all across the globe will be joining us here on this panel and will be sharing their personal experiences which they have experienced and have felt the Leela of Paramashiva, the experience and the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in their own personal lives. So please stay tuned as we get ready for this next segment.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda.
Yes. So joining us with us here today, Sri Sundareshwarananda Maharaj will be joining us here now, and we're going to be here, going to be inviting devotees and disciples from all across the globe to share their personal experience and how Paramashiva or Swamiji has manifested and has given so many boons, blessings, and miracles in their lives. Nithyananda Maharaj.
Yes, thank you very much, Maharaj. Nithyanam. Nithyanam, everybody. I welcome every one of you once again for this beautiful day, beautiful session on the Parashakti Akashic readings, where we receive the grace, the blessings, and the direct answers from Devi Parashakti for each and every one of us in our life. And as you all know, literally the best way to start our life, early morning, starting off by directly receiving Devi Parashakti, such that our entire day and life is filled with her presence, especially given this current condition of the COVID and the second wave in certain countries, the third in a few. How amidst all of this crisis, Devi Parashakti is making herself available through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and how Swamiji is continuously, tirelessly making himself available for every one of us in each and every one of our own places. So with that, it is time that we look at the various different experiences of various different devotees from all across the globe who've had their personal experience with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Just like how we saw in the story of Paramashiva, which happened where he brought down Malayadwaja Pandian right from heaven just for Meenakshi and Meenakshi's mother. And in the life of Trinyana Sambandar, how he brought back Angampum Pavai from ashes into a life. Like these, there are numerous miracles that even date Swamiji is being showering with devotees all across. So we're going to be listening from all of these devotees who will be joining us today on the panel and understand how we can prepare ourselves to receive the grace and the blessings of Devi Parashakti. We'll be looking at various different attitudes, various different angles of what is that space that they were in and how we can, by listening to their sharings, prepare ourselves to receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti. So joining us today, the first in the segment today, we'll be having Sri Nityananda Ayya, who is joining us from India. Nityananda Maya.
Nithyananda Maharaj.
Yes, Ayya. Nityanandam, you could introduce yourself, Ayya, for all our viewers.
Hi, my name is Arunendra Chaturvedi, and I'm from Pune.
Yes, Ayya. You can share how long you've been with Swamiji, your connection with Swamiji.
I know Swamiji from last 2 years, probably more than that, 3 years. I started listening to him via YouTube, and then I got initiated online only via Swamiji last year in December, and it was a life transformation. And I know very clearly that before my life of Swamiji and post life Swamiji, it's a completely different experience altogether, and a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, ambiguity, and even in the this Pralaya time also, there's a different space that is being all the time with us. We have at least, we have someone with whom we don't have that kind of fear, we don't have that kind of ambiguity. We have the Swamiji who continuously guide us, who continuously uplift us. So I think it's something which cannot be put into the words. What kind of life has become after meeting Swamiji, after knowing Swamiji, after getting initiated from Swamiji.
Yes, Ayya. Sure. I can very much understand and relate with what you're sharing. And just like how you've been sharing, you also recently got blessed. You had the blessings of Devi Parashakti in your very own life. So if you could actually share a little into what was the question that you asked Devi Parashakti and what are the blessings of Devi Parashakti and how you were actually able to see the changes in your life. If you give a little intro into that to all our participants.
Sure. So I was trying for to get the Akashic readings from Devi, but I was little hopeless that I'll get it or not. From last 1 or 2 weeks, I was continuously trying. But what happened is yesterday morning, I was continued. So I thought, let's ask today also, and maybe I'll get Devi blessing. I was not sure. But what happened is all of a sudden, Devi took my name in the session, and I did not understand Tamil. So, but I understood that yes, Devi has blessed me. And you know what? Even though I did not get what she said, but there was a different kind of experience I started having inside me. I have thought as if something has landed inside me, some kind of confidence, some kind of extra energy, bliss has happened. And I was running here and then asking that what is the translation? After a few minutes, I got the translation. I said, wow. I asked only few things, but she gave me everything. I mean, what she blessed is more than I could ever imagine. I mean, even, while I was asking, I was not sure what to ask. This is such an opportunity. You cannot imagine that Devi coming, and blessing you. It's something which you only see on television, or it's a kind of imagination. It's beyond words. So when this session was starting, I thought what to ask. I was not sure. Then I said, okay, let's ask something, and whatever she will give, it will be good for me. But yesterday, when I got the message that she has blessed me for these things, I thought, wow, she has given everything. I mean, I could never imagine this is what I should have asked for. So I know Devi knows more than what I am looking for, and she blessed me. And from till yesterday, the moment she has blessed me, I'm telling you, I have a different outlook towards life now. Something has landed inside me. I can very well, it looks inside, it feels from inside that you don't have any. I mean, I don't have any words to express, but there's something which has permanently changed. I'm feeling it right now. The kind of positivity and
Yes, I think there is some technical issue where Arunendra just lost his connection. But while Arunendra reconnects with all of us, as you can see from his very sharing itself, like how the moment you ask Devi Parashakti, it's like she not only answers the question, but she actually answers the questioner, which is what exactly is needed for you. That is very directly, very particularly is addressed by Devi Parashakti. Just like we all know, whenever we are there with our mother, it's not that you always ask your mother for things. It's like she always knows what you always wanted because she's there always caring for you. She's always there, whether you know she's looking at you or not, even whether she's working in the kitchen, she's cooking for you, she's washing the clothes, washing the vessels, or she's cleaning something, or she's working on something. Whatever is said and done, just like how at the corner of her sight, the sight is always on the child. Same way, Devi Parashakti. She might be doing all the great cosmic acts, Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Trobhava, Anugraha, everything might be going on. But the moment you connect with Devi Parashakti as your own mother, her sight, the corner of the sight, in Tamil there's a beautiful word, Kadekkan Parvai. Just that beautiful corner of the eyesight is enough. And that is always there on each and every one of us. Whether we understand it or not, whether we realize it or not, she's always there. And these are various examples, like whenever our participants come and share, when the devotees and disciples come over and share, how in their life they've been able to experience this. Like we heard Arunendra sharing that it was just hopeless that why will my question even be picked up? But even in that state, when Devi Parashakti is there, hey, I am there, I am taking care of you, I'm still listening to you. Just to give that confidence and that, what to say, it's like assurity on life itself. Normally itself, when your mother assures you, you feel so empowered about life. Just imagine Devi Parashakti herself coming and sharing that, hey, I am there, I'm listening to all your prayers, life is not hopeless, I am there. And what kind of blessing and what kind of a space that you would be put into. Literally, it is like you just enter into that space where you are like, wow, so I am not lost. I still have something, and she is still there listening to me. And this is something that many of the participants had actually shared. Like even when I spoke to multiple people around on this particular ground, many people had shared this thing where they are like, I don't know if Devi will answer or not, but let Devi just answer. Just show that you exist, that you're listening to me. Just that one simple prayer. And Devi not just responds back to them, but actually showers them with boon and blessings. So I think Arunendra is back with us, and I'm going to be adding him along with us. Yes, Arunendra, as you were sharing beautifully, I was just recapping it with all our viewers all across while you are fixing the technical issues, that how even in that space, like just in a corner of yourself, you are like, you're not very hopeful that you might have an Akashic reading. So many people are asking questions. Out of that, what is the percentage or chance that you would get, and what would be that you would receive the blessings? But not just that you receive the blessings, but you got much, much more than what you could ever imagine. So it's like Devi Parashakti is constantly there, assuring, reassuring every one of us that she is listening to every one of us. Yes, Aya, please go ahead. You were sharing.
Yeah, Maharaji. So you said right yesterday what happened when I was waiting for the readings to happen. I was not sure. Then I prayed to Devi. I prayed to Mata, that, oh Devi Parashakti, please bless me, please bless me. I was just praying because I was trying from last 2 weeks, and it started self-doubting on myself, or doubting on everything, that whether it will happen or not for me, because Devi will only bless who are real devotees, who are clean inner space. All those things were coming inside me, that it will not happen to me, it will not happen. But all of a sudden it happened, and it simply triggered some, I don't know what it triggered inside me, but now words are not with me to express the kind of experience I'm having, the kind of energy I'm having, the kind of bliss I'm having. Words are not enough to explain. And I sincerely thanks to all of you, to Swamiji, for having such a wonderful opportunity in our life and making it so easy to get blessings from the Devi. I know she is most powerful, and a lot of confidence has come to me, and I look forward towards it.
Yes, Aya, that was a very beautiful experience that you had shared. Aya, is there something that you would like to share? Like you shared that you were waiting for 2 weeks and then you did get an answer. But irrespective of all of that, if you can share with our participants, there are so many people, just like how you had shared, that they have also been trying to ask their questions and receive the grace and the blessings of Devi Parashakti. Something would have just clicked in you, where something would have changed. And what was that you went on in you over these 2 weeks that suddenly you received the grace of Devi Parashakti? So what would you like to share with the viewers who are also in the same situation like you, where they have been trying to receive the grace and blessings of Devi? So what do you think they can do to actually receive and to be blessed with Devi Parashakti in their life?
Yeah, Maharaji, I think you need to keep the hope, and you need to keep the space, because in last 2 weeks, I know that a lot of doubts were there, but I did not, gave up. I was continuously trying in the morning and in the evening, whenever it was getting scheduled, and I was praying to Devi. Okay, and it was a prayer from my inner space. Oh Devi, please bless me. Oh Devi, please bless me. And I'm telling you, a small one-liner message that I was putting in the YouTube, and the thousands of messages were popping up. So many things. I thought, Devi, how would she see the small message? Should I copy paste and make it big? And then I thought, no, I'll not do it. What I'll do is I'll pray to her, and I'll just simply, and you can see yesterday also, I've only messaged once that, oh Devi, please bless me. And out of these so many messages, Devi picked that message and blessed me. So only thing which I can say to all other devotees is, don't give up. She knows when to give, what to give. Okay, and she will give. You cannot ask. She'll give you. You just hold a space of prayer and keep praying and keep asking. And whenever the sessions are there, keep asking. And at the right time, she'll give you what the right space you need to have, and she'll give you.
Exactly.
That's what I experienced. Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, I can relate this back with another beautiful incident that happened. And maybe many of us would have already listened to this story, where once there was a Shiva devotee who was praying and worshipping Paramashiva. And every day he sincerely prayed and worshipped Paramashiva for like a few years. And but there was nothing that he was able to actually physically see in his life. All that he wanted to have in his life was that just to have the experience that Paramashiva is real and that he is there in his life. But after a long period of time, he started feeling hopeless. He started feeling, oh, Shiva is not listening to my prayers. Paramashiva is not responding to me. He started feeling hopeless. Then at one point, he became like, oh, this is what is going to happen. Then I'm not going to pray with you anymore. I'm not going to worship you anymore. So he buys a new Vishnu deity, and then he starts praying to Vishnu. So while doing the puja, the incense, the perfume, the smoke from the incense starts traveling towards the deity of Shiva. And the moment he sees this, he gets up, runs and closes the nose of the Shiva deity. The moment he does that, Paramashiva appears in front of him and blesses him. Immediately he is so astonished. And he asks Paramashiva, all these years I've been sincerely praying to you with all my integrity. I was doing all the pujas and everything. Till now, you did not bless me by giving the darshan. Why suddenly when now I moved away from you, you came and you actually are blessing me? Paramashiva very beautifully said that all this while I was testing your devotion. The moment when you came and closed my nose, you knew that I am already here. It is not that I have to come from somewhere. You knew that I am already here. So the moment you knew I am already here, I just manifested and showed it to you. So just like that, even I can like very much relate with that with your own life itself. So you've been waiting all this while, but the moment you know, hey, it's not about how many times you ask the question. It's not about external how many times we ask, but the moment you know she's already listening to me, she's already there in me, and let me just pray sincerely, she will manifest in my life. And with that sincere prayerful mood, as you shared, you just put it once, and immediately Devi answered the question that you shared. And this was something that I was able to very much relate with, and I hope and I'm sure that all the viewers who are watching will be able to take this as something that is very valuable in their life, how they can also prepare themselves and they can actually receive the grace and the blessings of Devi Parashakti. And of course, today you stand as a testament to one of the greatest miracles that Devi Parashakti, in the form of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our beloved Swamiji, is continuously gracing. How we need to relate with our beloved Swamiji so that we can receive grace and blessings. Just understanding that he is always there listening to us. The moment we believe in it, the moment it happens, as he shared, it's not that it just happened right away, but the will persistence that whatever is happening, I will stick on to Devi Parashakti. I will continue to pray to her. That will persistence that Arnendraya showed is the reason that he had his experience. So two things that we get away from this. One is the will persistence of Arnendraya, and second, knowing that she is always listening to us. Just this two powerful cognition, and you will have the blessings of Devi Parashakti. So thank you very much, Aya, for joining us on this panel. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our volunteers, with our participants, with our viewers? I think you'll have to unmute yourself, Aya.
Yeah, that's all, Maharajji. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and for inviting me and so that I can share my experience. And only thing which you rightly said is to hold a space, and you should trust that Devi will bless you. It may come here and there, but she will bless you if we have the right space and right prayers.
Yes, Aya. Thank you very much, Aya. Thank you once again
Thank
for
you.
coming up and joining us on this panel. So there, we listened from Arunendranaya about how in his very life, just by the will persistence and knowing that Devi Parashakti is listening to him no matter what. The moment he cognized that, even though he was trying for so many weeks, the moment he cognized, no, she is listening to me. And he just put it out once and Devi Parashakti answered. So like these, we're going to be listening from multiple people, how Devi Parashakti is continuously manifesting through our beloved Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and manifesting these various miracles in the lives of the devotees all across. So joining us next today on the panel, we have Kaden Johnston from the United States. And Nithyananda Kaden, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Nithyananda Maharaj, can you hear?
Yes, Kaden, please go ahead.
Okay, yes. Nithyanandam, I am Sri Nithya Ajanmananda, also Kaden. And yes, recently Swamiji blessed during the Aruvak.
So yes, so you could give a quick introduction, maybe just before you start off into sharing your experience of what Devi Parashakti revealed, a bit of introduction into your background, where you're from, what you were doing, and then little towards into when you met Swamiji, your personal experience with Swamiji, and how you've progressed in your life, and how it prepared you for the Parashakti Akashic reading, and then you can share your Parashakti Akashic reading, so that the viewers are all around would be able to comprehend entirely.
Yes, so I'm here in United States. I've been with Swamiji for about 4 years or so. I went to a temple Sangha gathering in the local area, and it was a Be Your Own Boss webinar. And instantly what I remember is seeing Swamiji and realizing that he was my guru then. So, and since then, it's amazing the sort of things that have just disappeared and incompletions that are no longer relevant. And what Swamiji has done is just made life so blissful and fun to live. It's really a joy with Swamiji in life now.
Wonderful. So yes, so maybe now you could give a quick sharing into what you actually asked and what was Devi Parashakti's blessings. So we are all excited to listen to that. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I asked Devi, I said, Ma, I was wanting the purpose of my life, right? Like, what should I do, Swamiji? I want to be with you, and can you please give some guidance, Ma, because I'm not sure really what to do in this life, and I want to make sure I'm at your feet. And can you please bless me, Ma? Give me guidance. And it was even hearing my name, Maharaj, hearing Swamiji say in the form of Devi Parashakti, that itself it brought so much completion. And the boon Swamiji gave was, he said, live blissfully in Kailasa. And just wow, like now there's some guidance in my life and completion and a way that I see I can live blissfully. Such a huge boon. I was feeling very lost and misunderstood and wondering, Swamiji, I really almost was like really wanting an answer at some point. And that is when Devi, exactly then, in that moment, blessed.
Exactly. And just like how you were sharing, right? So at this time, what's your age, Ajanma Nanda? What's your age now?
22, Maharaj.
There we go. Just 22 years old. And this is one of the crises that I guess all the youths all across face at this point in time, where either you enter into the delusion of the regular Maya matrix, or you are like so frustrated about the Maya matrix and you're like, what is the purpose of all of this? And you're actually looking towards what you actually need to do. And at this phase in time, when the best blessing that ever we could have is the right person guiding us in our life. And I'm sure even on a normal way, whether the mentors who guide us, especially at this particular phase of our life, even in the normal career with respect to education, with respect to the job or the work that you need to be entering into, the mentor or the person who will guide you, the guide is the most important at this point in time. And here we have the best mentor, we have the best guide, and those are like the smallest words that they could ever use. But we have the ultimate cosmos itself landing and guiding each and every one of us in our life, especially now, as you were sharing that you just literally felt lost. You had no idea of what it is. But the moment Devi Parashakti, the moment Swamiji shared that your life is to be in Kailasa, it is like literally there are so many thousands of choices that exist now. As Swamiji shares, so many choices in the world right now. So you have no clue what has to happen, what is the right thing to do. But irrespective of any of that, guiding you and knowing you, getting to know what is the very purpose of your life is the biggest blessing that anyone could have. And also your preparation, as you shared, that it is the intent seeking that you had in you, that you really wanted that answer, that you really wanted Devi Parashakti to actually let you know and to show you the path. So is there anything specifically that you like to share what you held in you? Because you shared that you wanted it so badly and then it happened. So is there something that you wanted to share in with respect to that, like what you did to actually receive Devi Parashakti's answers?
What I would say, Maharaj, is very intense seeking and devotion. Devotion is the word I would use. I was really thinking like, Ma, please answer my question, and really having that feeling connection. I think that's what made the difference.
Wonderful. Yes. So that is very powerful sharing that you had, and I'm sure that like these, another thing as you shared rightly, it is Devi prepares you for the answer and then answers you at the right time. So you shared that even though you've been having this earlier, but at the right time Devi answered it. So we all might be thinking that, oh, I've been asking so many times, and I don't know if there is some fault with me, flaw with me. So many things might be there, but understand Devi Swamiji as embodiment of Devi Parashakti herself, at the right moment, the right words that need to be heard by you. At that time, the spark is ignited and the feeling connection flowers beautifully. And so it is one, having the feeling connection. Second, understand that it is everything that is going on, whether it is the process of you waiting, whether it is the technique. Some of them, I know that some of them have these technical issues like not knowing how to actually type in the questions, or not being able to be actually able to work on those things. But all of that is also a process just to prepare you to receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti. So that was a beautiful sharing from you, Ajanma Maharaj. And thank you once again for joining us on this panel and sharing your experience of how you were able to relate with Devi Parashakti, and also how the participants, the volunteers, the participants, the viewers can actually prepare themselves to receive Devi Parashakti's blessings. So thank you once again. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers all across?
No, thank you, Maharaj. I would say if you want, ask Devi all of your questions, right? Ask Ma and relate with her as mother, because really she will come at the right time and give much more even than you know how to ask for anything you want. So she really will bless. And thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you very much once again for joining the panel and sharing with every one of us your beautiful experience of Devi Parashakti Akashic reading. So there we had from Ajanmananda such a beautiful experience of how he prepared and how he was being prepared by Devi Parashakti herself by inculcating the devotion, everything working towards bringing the devotion in him. And as soon as the devotion flowered at the right time, Devi Parashakti manifested and shared the best blessings that he could ever receive. So now, next in our panel, we're going to be moving on to another beautiful participant from Singapore. We have Keong Chow, who will be joining us on this panel. And Nithyananda Maya, you could introduce yourself.
Nithyananda Maharaj. My name is Kyong. I'm from Singapore. I got connected to Swamiji, I think it's 2016. I did Sadashivoham, Maha Sadashivoham. I did volunteering after Sadashivoham also. And I did Paramashivam level 2 and NYTT. My connection with him in the beginning, of course, I have a lot of GDHD because I have a lot of ideas about spirituality and all that kind of thing, but it changed quite quickly for me as I started to do the main program and all that. I didn't feel the shift, but people around me can see the difference in me. I didn't quite understand what is it, but a lot of people, they don't really even know me, but they felt that it's a change in me. I didn't quite understand, so I just left it as it is. Definitely, after listening to the two Ayah sharing his experience in regards about Devi Parashakti and Maharaj also, I actually had a click. I had a click is actually I need to have the trust for Parashakti, Devi Parashakti. It's not based on what I want, when I want it. I was like a couple of days I was showing tantrum because I submitted my question like 2-3 times, or I think 3 times. It was not answered. I was like waiting anxiously, but nothing really happened. So after listening to the two ayahs of sharing, and then of course Maharaj, I realized that I need to have the trust for Devi Parashakti. When the time comes, she will know what to give. She will give me. That's what I need to. That's the click I get. And I think what is important is the patience, and also definitely it's a will persistent for me, because he even for Swamiji and Parashakti, I know constantly she's testing on my will persistent, because that is my pattern that I always usually give up very fast. So from the first program, when I was doing volunteering, it was the same thing again and again and again. So he reminded me. So after listening to your sharing the two Maharaj, I realized, oh my God, it's like I need to have the trust for Devi Parashakti. That's all. I need to have the trust. When I have the trust, she will give me what I want. I already kind of know whether she's answering me in NTV or not. It doesn't matter because she already manifesting towards me. She was already manifesting towards me when I was doing enriching. I know she was manifesting through my body because when I was doing enriching, when I speak, I know it's not Swamiji, it was a Swamiji in Devi Parashakti. So I don't know why I have that doubt, but that two sharing and Maharaj, as we were talking, I was listening. It was such a huge click for me. I need to drop the GTHD. I need to have the trust for Parashakti. That's all I have to say.
Wonderful, Aya. Actually, I would like to share a little more into what you're adding, right? So just like how you were sharing, there are so many participants out there who are waiting to receive the Devi Parashakti Akashic readings. Another thing that we all need to actually look at is that in our life, right? So always we are looking at situations which actually cause problems, especially if you're people who, if you're like people who like continuously look at movies or these TV serials, the televisions, and all of that, it actually imposes a life negative understanding. Basically, it's like every situation in life you look at, oh, everything is happening against me. Life is against me. But if you actually start listening to the sharings of people like these, and if you actually listen to the life of the various leelas that Paramashiva has manifested, and from the life of the various devotees of Paramashiva, like in today's example, like what we heard from the life of Sivanesa Chettiar, all that he did was he did not have a daughter. He did not have a child. After a long time, he was a very wealthy man, very rich man. Only desire that he had was to have a beautiful child, and he was blessed with a daughter. And the moment he knew the daughter had come, that he had a daughter, the only one desire he had is that she needs to have the best life. And he knew that Tirunjana Sambandar, who is a great devotee of Paramashiva, and literally he is Lord Subramanya himself. When he knew that Jnana Sambandar is there, the best that he can do is to offer his very own daughter to him. And in his very mental presence itself, he already offered Angam Pumpavai. Her name was Pumpavai. He just offered her to Tirunjana Sambandar as his very own consort. But unfortunately, what had happened was I wouldn't call it unfortunately, I'll call it the Leela of Paramashiva. And he was able to take it in the right way. That is the most important thing. See, many times in our life, when things go great, we are always able to attribute it to Paramashiva. We are always able to attribute it to Swamiji. We are always able to say, oh yes, I see the grace and blessings of Devi Parashakti. But we also need to know, Devi Parashakti, Paramashiva are powerful, living, which means they test their devotees just to prove the glory of their devotees to the entire world. So just like that, Paramashiva tested Sivanesa Chettiar for it, and a snake had come and bit her. And the only daughter whom he had, she was killed. But even momentarily, even though he fell into powerlessness, he immediately restored, telling that, hey, I have already offered my daughter as a consort to Tirunjana Sambandar. Now, because I've already offered my daughter as a consort to Tirunjana Sambandar, there is nothing that I need to worry. And I will wait till Tirunjana Sambandar comes, and then I will give the ashes of her. So he cremates her, he takes the ashes, puts it in a pot, and then waits till Tirunjana Sambandar comes. Every day sincerely prays to Tirunjana Sambandar. And then the day when Tirunjana Sambandar, when he comes towards that village where the Sivanesa Chettiar was there, the merchant lived. The moment he heard about this, he immediately goes to the house of Sivanesa Chettiar and not just blesses, but actually resurrects. From the ashes, he brings back the entire girl alive. And just by singing the praise of Paramashiva, Angam Pumpavai comes alive. And the merchant is so happy. And he says, he wishes, he expresses wish that he wants Pumpavai to be married to Tirunjana Sambandar. But then Tirunjana Sambandar says, understand that the daughter whom you already offered to me, I've already accepted her. But now the one who I have given back life is like my own daughter. So I won't be able to marry her, but she will eternally be as my daughter. And when Trinyana Sambandhar merged into the light of Paramashiva, Angam Pumpavai also merged into light of Paramashiva. So when we listen to these kind of beautiful experiences, we will see that in our life, even though we feel at times powerless and we feel like we are not able to do something, certain things, but if you actually read these beautiful happenings from the life of Paramashiva, from the life of various devotees, disciples of Paramashiva, and now, like how people are able to relate with Swamiji as Paramashiva and Parashakti, and how in their lives continuously Swamiji is manifesting, you will see that your entire life itself is a blessing. And you'll actually catch what is that you need to do to prepare yourself. You'll just see that, hey, he is already manifesting in me, and I just need to hold that cognition. And that is the reason that we are having so many of you come over and share with all the participants everywhere, share with all the participants how they can prepare themselves to receive the grace, the blessings, the answers of Devi Parashakti in their life. So that was something that I wanted to share, along with, especially when you were sharing that the clicks that you got and how you still had the doubts about yourself, about Guru, and how the moment you are able to have the click that, hey, he's already manifesting, she's already there showing the path in my life, Devi will just simply acknowledge it. So that was a very beautiful sharing from you, Aya. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Now, when looking at your life from this angle, would you like to share how you're able to relate with Devi Parashakti already manifesting? Like you were sharing with respect, you're enriching that you felt that Devi Parashakti is manifesting. Any one example that you'd like to share, which will directly enrich so many people who are watching us live from all across the globe?
Okay. I definitely very even before Devi Parashakti, right? I always very drawn to Mahakala Bhairava. How I relate to Mahakala Bhairava and Devi Parashakti is their ferocity, the ferocity that they have. So even though when Devi Parashakti come online and all that, when she just, even though I don't understand Tamil, but when I was listening to her talking and all that, I can feel my inner being is shaken. I can feel the fear is coming up. But at the same time, I also can feel I'm very drawn to her. I'm very attracted to her ferocity. So from the enriching point of view, it's not so much of what I can do to the person, but when she was manifesting through me, the more connection, the clicks that I have is I need to be more ferocious with my own patterns. I need to be more ferocious with my powerlessness. I need to be more ferocious with my SDHD. I need to be more ferocious with my GDHD. So the biggest click what I had from this sharing as I was listening to you talking, and plus the two ayahs before me is the click, the connection. You need to have the trust to have the connection. You need to surrender this whole thing about whether she's going to give it to you, whether she's going to read to you, or whether she's going to do this and all that. Drop the SDHD. Just trust her. She will know what to do. Even though we always have this binary logic, like, oh, she's not reading my prayers, she's not reading my blessings. So we have a lot of this self-talking. So my only take, what I can share is to trust her. When the time comes, it will come. Definitely. Talk to her more rather than you do your own self-talking. Don't have too much self-talking. Talk to Parashakti, talk to Swamiji, talk to Mahakala Bhairava, talk to your Ishta Devatas. It doesn't matter. Talk to all the highest consciousness, all the super consciousness that he already like, how could I put it? He already implanted in us. We just need to invoke all this divinity in us, which is also is us, you know. It's like, trust her. That's all I can say.
Wonderful.
I'm very happy now. I'm so happy now. That's all I can say. I'm in bliss now. By
Great,
listening to your sharing, I was completely in bliss.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. And as how Kyongaya shared, go and speak to these higher level beings. Nothing. It is very simple. Just have the Atmamurti in front of you and go on be speaking to Devi Parashakti, Go on be speaking to Swamiji in whichever way you relate to Swamiji, whether it might be the Devi Bhava, the Kalabhairava Bhava, Venkateshwara Bhava, in any Bhava that you relate Swamiji with. Go on be speaking to them, and you will see that that is a very beautiful practice where you will know that it is not that Devi Parashakti is only when she opens her mouth and in that particular thing when she speaks, she is actually speaking. But you will see that she's constantly there speaking, relating, guiding, caring, taking care of you in every aspect of your life. So thank you very much, Aya, joining us today on this panel and sharing your experience of how you are able to prepare yourself to receive Devi's Parashakti readings. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with our participants?
No, that's all I have to say. I think just constantly talk to them, talk to Parashakti, talk to Swamiji, talk to Kalabhairava, any super conscious being, just continuous talking to them instead of talking to ourselves. That's all I have to say. Keep
Wonderful,
connecting to the highest level. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Wonderful, Aya. Thank you very much for joining on this panel once
Thank
again.
you. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, so that was a very beautiful sharing by Kyong Aya, how he is preparing himself to receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti. So as I shared, the very reason, there are multiple reasons why we listen to these beautiful happenings from various people's life around. And this entire segment that we are listening to now, is to actually prepare ourselves to receive Devi Parashakti's blessings in each and every one of our life. Various different angles, various different sharings, various different participants, various different experiences, how all of them in various different ways are receiving Devi Parashakti's blessings. So now we're going to be moving on to the next participant. We have Milindaya from the USA. Nithyananda.
Nityanandam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you introduce yourself for all our viewers?
Sure. I met Swamiji actually in his first US tour when he came to Bay Area in Fremont and Livermore Temple. He had 2 programs that time, and I attended both the programs. And there were hardly maybe less than 10 people in the whole audience. But I couldn't connect that time because of the language problem. Because Swamiji had just, I think, learning English in our US type of English. So I think I couldn't connect with him, and he was very young that time. But later on in 2010, when the first attack happened, because of one of my friend, I wanted to study about Swamiji, and I found that he was completely innocent, and that's what I started supporting him from then onwards. And so my recent experience was what happened is when this Arul Walk was announced. Around the similar time, around that time, means there are like India had hit with second corona wave, and US also there are some. The government wants to have like some restrictions with who are not taking vaccinations and all. So I was kind of thinking about, and I had read about. It's not completely detailed reading, but heard about like bad effects of vaccination and all other things. So I had when I wanted to write with the Arul Walk, I wanted to write a question for Swamiji, for Amma, and what I thought like I should write for something for global nature. Like Swamiji should, Amma, the Divine Mother, should give us guidance about this vaccination and Corona. So I think my question was about like there are issues like social pressure or government pressure about getting vaccination. And so is it necessary for for the devotees to have the vaccination? And if it is and that vaccination also will work only for certain type of virus. So as Swami has already said that there may be corona, morona, and different kind of viruses might come. So in that case, I wanted to have some assurance from the Divine Mother that for all her devotees, she will protect everybody. So that's how I kind of, I think, turned my question. I don't have that question with me, unfortunately. But, and I think that after second or third day, Swamiji suddenly took my name. And that time, what was happening was, I was having some very big feeling weak, and I thought maybe I have to go to sleep or something. And suddenly I heard Devi saying my name, and there's such a shot of energy landed in me. I couldn't describe. And that energy, I think, is still there, and is giving me some boost. And the whole weightage of like getting vaccination or not, or that fear of some kind of fear about the vaccination, is completely lifted off. So though I haven't taken the vaccination yet, I'm still kind of, because I received this message now that live life intelligently. So I'm still wondering whether Devi want me to have the vaccination, or just to believe in her that she's going to protect you. Why you are worrying? So is there a? So I'm still waiting for that click to happen. Like, what should I really do? Have the Devi suggested me to take the vaccination as my command? Then I would go and take it. But right now I'm still waiting for that click to happen. But it is good to know that a lot of global discussion happened because of Swami, the Devi's this revelation about the vaccination. And means I haven't even studied. Many of the people have actually given the material to read and all, but I haven't able to read it. But I'm sure that there is a lot of things the Devi had given the knowledge and the energy to protect ourselves.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So just like how you were sharing with every one of us, right? So all that you had, like you connected with Swamiji at a very young age when Swamiji actually first came to the US, and then on you've been with Swamiji, and you've been in that, having the feeling connection with Swamiji, continuously receiving the guidance and the blessings of Swamiji in your life. And now when you asked about this, yeah, if you don't mind, if you could share with all of us, what would be your age at this point in time?
Yeah, I'm 62.
So here, so we have Aya, who is 60 plus, and especially like how you were sharing, right? The coronavirus, especially at this point in time, is in a very, very bad condition in India and in various other parts of the globe. And as we are seeing, there are multiple cases that are there. Literally in India, there are like lakhs of cases that are coming up every day, and thousands of people dying every single day. And in other various parts of the countries and the world also. But at this point in time, the grace and the blessings, the compassion of Devi Parashakti, that not just telling, revealing what are the vaccines that we can take, what are the vaccines, because I remember this question very well, and Devi Parashakti specifically mentioned the brands of the vaccination that can even be taken. And it was Moderna and Pfizer that Devi Parashakti shared with every one of us to the world, and that those medicines do not have karma and they can be taken. And so this kind of a powerful thing. Now, at a time when people out there, especially it is the elder people, because naturally by the very nature the immunity reduces, and physically the body is actually going down. When so many people get into insecurity about their future, insecurity about what would happen at this point in time, you on the other hand not just receive the blessings for yourself, but you receive the grace and the blessings of the entire humanity. So as a personal experience, as a senior citizen, what would be, how do you personally feel with respect to what your future would be, or your insecurities, or any of that? Because there are so many participants of just like your age, and who are like the senior people who are there, who are watching us all across. What is that you would like to share? Because that is something that they are worried about, their children are worried about. I'm sure there are a lot of viewers who are seeing, who have elderly parents, grandparents, and sure that every one of them want them to be protected, especially during this pandemic. What is it that you would like to share with every one of them from your personal experience with Swamiji and Devi Parashakti?
As my personal experience, I will say the faith in your connection with Swamiji, or whatever connection you have. Like if you are taking Swamiji as Kala Bhairava or Divine Mother, or whatever way, without Krishna or Venkateshwara. So in whatever way you are connecting to the Swamiji, you just have complete faith in him that he is going to guide you, he is going to save you. So if that is there, then I think the worries won't happen. And if the worries won't happen, then your PG physical strength also builds and it doesn't go down. So basically, you are immune to the viruses. And that's what my feeling is, that Swami has given me such strength that no virus can touch me. Or even I cannot be even carrier of the virus, so I may not get ill, but I will transmit to some others. That is also, that possibility also not there, is my conviction.
Wonderful, Aya. And just like how you shared, like having that feeling connection in whichever way you relate with Swamiji, just having that simple feeling connection with Swamiji, that he is there, he will give me the experience. He is always there taking care of me and with me. So that powerful cognition, just like how Milinda shared with all of us, it is just that conviction that you can have with Devi Parashakti and with Swamiji. Just knowing that they are there, they are there guiding you, taking care of you. That is all that is needed. And from his life also, we can take on that, just like how he had that seeking and intense feeling connection, the devotion, and over and beyond all of that, it's like a settled feeling that he knows Devi is listening and she has already taken care of me. So let me ask for the benefit of the whole humanity. So that feeling that I am already protected, there is nothing new that I'm going to be asking for. So whatever, so this very cognition that let me ask for others, let me ask for humanity, comes in only when Devi bestows you with that feeling connection and you realize that you're already cared for. What is there more for me to ask for my life? She's already there giving me more and beyond what I can ever ask in my life. So when she is always there, when she's always guiding me, there's nothing more that I need to ask. So that is something that is a very beautiful takeaway that we can have from your sharing, and all the participants can actually take in and understand in their life. The moment you understand that she's already there, she's already listening, she's already taking care, she's already there for you in your life. The moment you get settled with this, you just know that you can just relate with Devi Parashakti. And once again, Aya, I would like to thank you for coming up and sharing. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our participants and viewers?
Yeah, as I said, like when I put the question, I think there was third or fourth session of Arulva when Swamiji actually answered my question. So what I think that all our people, like, they should not give hope. And even if it is not answered, because there are thousands of people may be asking questions. So Devi may not be able to give each one, everyone's name, but if you can relate to some other person's same question or similar situation, you can think that it is the answer to you also. Because Devi is giving the answer to you in different way, may not be the direct way. That's what is my feeling for all other these people who are asking questions.
Wonderful, Aya. Thank you very much once again for joining us. And as you rightly shared, it is not just answer for others, but when you have the feeling connection with Devi Parashakti, you just know that she is answering each and every one of us. So thank you once again for joining us on this panel and sharing a beautiful experience of Devi Parashakti Akashic readings. Thank you, Aya.
Thank you, Nithyananda.
So beautifully, we had Milindaya share as a senior citizen how in his life he's able to handle the situation, the pandemic at this point in time. And that is such a beautiful inspiration for many of us all across the globe. Because I know I've related with so many people while speaking to so many of us. We are all uncertain. One, about our own health. At the second, we are even more concerned about our parents, our grandparents who are elderly. And as Melinda very rightly and very beautifully shared, just have the understanding that Devi Parashakti blessed. She has told she is taking care of everything. The moment her blessings are there with us, all that we need to do is, if there is any other cognition that is coming in, if there is any other cognition that is there, which is stopping you from experiencing that, all that you need to do is to just drop that pattern at the feet of Devi Parashakti. The moment you bring yourself back to that powerfulness that, hey, Devi Parashakti herself has told that she is taking care. So why should I hold on to any further fear? She is there, she is taking care. That simple but yet powerful space of declaration and feeling connection, the moment you have with Devi Parashakti, you will see that continuously you are having her blessings in your life. So just like that, it is time that we move to the next participant. We have another beautiful participant joining us from Delhi. We have Harshvardhanaya, who is a participant from Delhi. And I'd like to introduce Harshvardhanaya. Nithyananda, you can introduce yourself. I think we are not able to hear you. Yes, we are not yet able to hear you, Aya. If you can check your audio settings and come back. Yes. While Aya is actually fixing his technical part of it, we'll listen from Shaitya Vimuktananda Aya. From, I know many of us are there eagerly waiting to receive and to actually listen from Avimukta. He got one of the very beautiful sharings yesterday as to, day before yesterday, as to what his purpose of life is. And I'm so excited to listen from Avimukta and how we can actually prepare ourselves to actually receive what is that we can really receive from Devi Parashakti. So without any further ado, Avimukta, Nithyananda, you could introduce yourself for all our participants.
Yeah, Nithyananda, am I audible now?
Yes, yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Thank you. It's good enough to go. Thank you. Thank you so much, and gratitude to Swamiji. Namaskaram to the lotus feet of Supreme Pandit of Hinduism. Just to start with introduction, I'm Srinithya Nithyananda. I'm in Mumbai. I'm running a software company. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm connected with Swamiji for more than a decade, from 2009, 10 around, physically. But before then, got connected with Swamiji through books and his Tamil teaching. The introduction for me with Swamiji is beautiful, his Tamil writings in some of the Tamil magazines. So that's where things starts. It's all with one page essay. I thought, oh God, who is the person beautifully writing? And I was a spiritual seeker, and I'm still a seeker. So you know that his writing disturbs. His writing just shakes, before even the so-called enlightened masters, and somebody breaks you, somebody shakes you, somebody just disturbs your regular frequency of thinking. So from that page, because I used to also write, so I know that, oh God, this kind of a sharpness how a person can do. So without all that, okay, he's writing good, let's start. That's the way the journey starts, and start reading, and fortunate enough to have his connections on 2010-11. So last 11-12 years, the journey goes so beautifully. So that's a small introduction, and of course, my whole family is blessed by Swamiji for getting connected. My son is there in Gurukul. My wife is also Gurukul Acharya teacher. So 12 years is a beautiful journey. That's my small introduction. So like that, the one thing I wanted to say is everyone is the way they come to Hinduism. I mean, how Hinduism is having a multiple phases. Like that, I'm really enjoying last 1 hour, how rather 45 minutes, how people are sharing their experience. So that itself is giving one message. So with this introduction, I'll directly jump to the question that how we have to prepare ourselves. Actually, we don't need to prepare ourselves. That's an answer. So how, whenever the Kala Bhairava Darshan happens, whenever Devi Darshan happens, how we really, the whole chemistry happen inside us. Is it the way we just face to our life also? Most of our devotees know that we come for health, wealth, relationships, and we know what Swamiji gives, and we know what is what. But that Singapore Aya was so beautifully saying, I don't need to add anything, so beautifully saying how that Bhava, he could be able to get connected with this. Like, he was just explaining how he could be able to connect with Kala Bhairava, how he could be able to connect with him. Can we imagine, like, in the current modern world, how this Bhava can be explained? So if somebody asks Swamiji that, in one word you explain as something, I'll say, is it just living Hinduism? Hinduism is real. If so, Swamiji is real. And if we are talking about pluralism of Hinduism, it's absolutely Swamiji. I am typically from a rational mindset, a corporate mindset, a sort of communistic background also, rationalistic, not believing in too much God, but the spirituality such was there. I could able to completely connect with Swamiji the same way 75 years, 80 years, my parents could be able to completely connect with Swamiji. And at the same time, 3 years, 4 years kid can completely connect with Swamiji. As a Hindu background, I can connect with Swamiji. Kyongaya, coming from completely non-Hindu background, he can also completely connect with Swamiji. Don't you call this as a pluralism? Don't you call this as a, beyond, race, religions, place, color, everything? Isn't it something very amazing one? Okay, this is the first thing. So the question is, Swamiji is Hinduism, Swamiji is pluralism. So when we make the statement like Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, when we talk about it, people always say, hey, come on, you guys are cult and you're talking about it. It's not that. Even if you're logically, if anybody can explain to me that how for your outer rational sake, if one spiritual leader can connect with all these people, it means Hinduism is real, and whatever Hinduism is trying to say is absolutely real. If you are a seeker, whether you call it as a god or you call it as a consciousness, you need to have a guru. Guru Sampradaya is the right one. And this is exactly has to talk to the world. That is why as a living avatar, Swamiji is there. Now, just going back to the question that how we have to prepare for this, how you are preparing for seeking. When I remember when Kalabhairava Darshan comes, the whole Sangha, whole of my being was completely getting to the different space. Oh God, one is obviously, is my question answered? If my question is answered, what question I have to ask? So this is what the always, you call it a dilemma, or, boiling through what question I'll ask. Okay. This is, it get matured. I know people ask 1,000 questions. I know people don't have any questions sitting and laughing. If you just see our Sangha and how devotees are connected with, it's like a typical circus. One person will just sit and laugh at Swamiji and enjoy Swamiji. One person will just sit and keep on continuously asking questions. Okay, Swamiji fires somebody, Swamiji loves somebody. Isn't it a cosmic circus? Exactly. This is exactly Swamiji is trying to. So when Singapore Ayya was talking, I could be able to see him, some kind of a Nayanmarism in him. The way in which he was talking, I just got touched. Oh God, what else is needed more? Is it Nayanmar is only stopping with 64? No. Swamiji is here to make all of us as a Nayanmar. All of us as Alvas. How will you bring this so touchy feeling to each and every person? If you are telling me before 12 years, 13 years, I'm Nayanmar, first of all, I would have to say, hey, that's a story, don't teach me. Second, for me to become, forget it, just get lost. But now I'm seeing there is a possibility he created. And this, so enlightenment society he talking about, it's not just any double-quoted, high, projected word. It's a simple possibility. We are claiming that Gurukul kids are God. It's not a claim. It's all a possibility where we could be able to see that. Okay, how will you make this trust happening? We know that Hitler, who was just changed, and maybe for a wrong reason, he has done it. We know Adi Shankara teaching is still there. We know Buddha teaching is still there. And that's what I'm just foreseeing as Swamiji. So I'm sorry, I'm just taking up little excited. I'm still have beautifully loaded with what all the testimonies our people are giving. So still many of our people are asking, hey, how this question, even for me also it happens. Okay, already Swamiji answered. What question I'll ask? More of the time, this is what question? This is exactly the questions we have for a life. Hey, what question? Swamiji has given a lot. Here, so the question what we are going to ask to Kalabhairava or Devi is nothing but the question to our life is. Do we have a question? The answer is yes. Don't we have a question? The answer is yes. Every time you have this dilemma, but that's good to have the dilemma because as Swamiji says, always he's answering to the questioner. The same purpose of a life before 12 years, the question is the same. What Swamiji gave an answer before 12 years is different. Now, absolutely is different. And I'm enjoying the answer. I don't know how to say, this is my deepest belief. So many people would have given this in a testimony. You talk to Atmamurti, I do that sometime, but even the casual level of likingness, somehow maybe because of the name he has given or something like that. So spiritual name is not just a name, it's a purpose of life. Anything you goes down, just you are there to hold it. He gives many too. He gives Atmalinga, Atmamurti, name, responsibility, Chanda. He gives so much anger for you to hold. Okay, even I used to talk to many our abusers who has gone out with incompletion and other things. I always noticed them when I watched them. Even I when I used to go to some of the media people and I talk to him, they are there to blast. A couple of months back, I went to one of the publications, so they know that I'm Swamiji devotee. 10 minutes, that guy was completely opposing. Just he was sitting and listening. He is not a Hindu-hated guy, but he was just telling us Swamiji's this and that. Then you won't believe that meeting went for 30 minutes. The next 20 minutes, he started talking about good thing what all Swamiji has done without he knows it. I was saying, hey guys, you know better than me. I was end of the discussion and tell him I call myself as a devotee, but you are so much tracking of Swamiji. So Swamiji is one, he is a living Hinduism, living reality. And he just gets in. Okay, he gets in you. If you have wish, one of the abusers said to Swamiji that he increases your wish and made to happen. I said, oh, that's exactly the things to happen. Deep inside, you call it as a purpose of a life, you call it as your wish of a life. Someone who landed in the cosmos to, increase it to, show to you and making it happen. What else you need it? You call them as a practical world, as a visionary or a leader or anything. And in spiritual world, we call that as an avatar. This is exactly happening. So until even abuses Swamiji is there. Okay, so this is the kind of, so when any of our, devotees, if you are having with a question and if you have a confusion, no problem, that's good to have. You have to always wait and yield for when my questions will ask. And how you are handling with that questions and answer, I mean, that's a breakthrough. It's worth waiting, number one. And every time, I never know, I was only an, one dimension of me only, I know it. But when we went to Kalabhairava, when answer given by Swamiji, what happened? The answer is completely, there are a biggest decision in our life we take with this. See, this is not much question that what is how this prime minister will do better or not. It's not a panel discussion of any news channel. No, this is a life question. So you are serious about it, knowingly or unknowingly, you are serious about it. And when the answer comes from Swamiji, without you knowing it, you will be very serious about it. Okay, all the major decisions of my life, for example, my wife went and asked that, I wanted to be with my husband, what should I do? So Swamiji said, Kalabhairava said, no, you have to be with your husband and do that. This all the answers of life-making questions, life-changing questions, and life-making answers, life-changing answers. What is the difference? When I take action from my mind, my rational point of view, I have to always get blamed by myself. Oh God, should I take it right or wrong? Here there is one answer. I don't need to even think back. I don't need to even go back. It's told and it's happened, and I know it is something good there for me. Okay, I said it's for a greater purpose. Okay, and that's all. Your questions, have no guiltiness, no expectations. Karmanyavadhikara say happened by default. For example, if I take 10 decisions, 3 decisions I take from Swamiji words or Kalabhairava words or Devi words. This 3 is absolutely unquestioned by me in the future. The remaining 7 probably is a heavy load for me. Okay, should I do or should I should have done this strategy, nothing. So this is all the answers beyond your mind, beyond your strategy. So it's worth waiting. So, and all of you know that all of us want to have an answer by Devi, point 1. And all of us have a questions. And this, we have to allow that question to chalk in us and just grow it up. And how we deal with this question and how we deal with it's the real fun of life. And just listen. Yesterday I was listening Balaji Ayya, Dr. Ayya, and Sundaresh Maharaj were beautifully asking the questions, and whatever they were answering, it was like, oh God, this is exactly I have gone through. And Swamiji said, it's finally your mind is what, 7 to 8 patterns. I know that's what I'm dealing with. But yesterday when they're saying, oh God, this is exactly. So all of viewers, I would like to say how important we are watching Swamiji Arulwak. Arulwak answers are not just for, you have to read it. It's like a sloga. It's like, the what he has given is not just an answer for X or Y or Z. Okay, so it's not that it's not happening for you. I told one of our devotee, what is the way to get? I said, put it in YouTube, but just read it. That what are the answer he's giving for others. Okay, when he say in Sarvakya Vida, you will get a Dana, Mana, and Jana. It matters to you. So in any of the answers will kick it to you. So that is also an answer for you. Then once again, yield for it. Is it this answer is answer for me? Just reshape your question. So with Swamiji, always your question gets reshaped. So when
Yes, exactly.
please.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to, like how you're beautifully sharing, I just wanted to add a little small point into it. And just for all our viewers, here we are listening to a complete, beautiful, different approach of how we can actually listen to Devi Parashakti and how we can prepare ourselves. Beautifully, Avimuktaya has been sharing about how waiting actually prepares you for receiving the right answer. So there's actually a beautiful process in the Siddha tradition called as the Rasayanam. So what actually happens is that basically the juices or the oils from anything is taken and boiled, churned, such that literally a 1 liter of a liquid of a certain medicine would just become like 10 ml of medicine. So it's that boiling that happens again and again and again and again and again. And suddenly that just the core that is left after all that boiling that is there, that is the essence. And literally from what Avimukta is sharing, especially with his rational background and how he beautifully shared about how even the people who think all of this is not true or all of this does not exist, deep and beyond their own understanding and cognition, Devi is still there. Swamiji has already penetrated every one of them and they're already there beyond their acceptance itself. So that is actually a very beautiful thing. So this preparation that Avimuktaya is sharing, like how you prepare yourself so that Rasa Siddham or that Rasayanam happens in you. So that question gets solidified, purified. So that when the right question happens, that is when Devi Parashakti answers you. Because not just the question is changing, but the questioner is evolving along with the questions that is coming up. So I'm sure that many of us would have heard this story where, especially in the introductory sessions of the Kalpataru when we are attending, we would have listened to the story. So there was this once the man who was actually traveling around in the forest and would be very tired. And he went and he was lying down under a tree. Suddenly he thinks that how nice would it be if I would be able to get some nice juice and some refreshments so that I can be a little more active and fresh. Suddenly the refreshments will become available and he'll enjoy it. Then he'll think how nice will it be if there will be a bed and I can actually relax for a while. Suddenly a bed will appear in front of him and he'll be there. And then he'll start thinking, wow, so whatever I'm thinking is becoming a reality. What if suddenly a tiger will come and kill me? A tiger comes and kills him. This is actually an analogy that all of us can take in our life. Because at this point in time, there are so many questions that are there and we actually don't know whether that is the actual question that we want to ask in our life. Whether we want to really experience those in our life. I can share from my own life about, I think 10 years ago, it's been 10 years with Swamiji now. Maybe about 12 years ago when my parents were connected with Swamiji. So this was one experience where my father, for the first time, my biological father, had attended the Kalpataru back in, I think, in Hyderabad. So at that time, he had gone towards Swamiji and every one of us get to ask a question and boon from Swamiji. So he was like, I don't have any question from Swamiji. Do you want to ask something to Swamiji? At that time, as a young child, having no clue about any of these things. So I was like, can you ask Swamiji to bless me so that I can have a basketball in my life, so that you buy and give me a basketball. And now when I actually look back at that, right, so it's like such an immature thing. But of course, one is with the age. But second, actually, if we look into our life, many of the questions that we ask Devi Parashakti is from a lower understandings that we have. And it is that Devi Parashakti actually prepares you to even ask the question. Just like how Avimuktaya shared, it is like the very preparation to ask the question itself is a beautiful process by Devi Parashakti. So it's not that everything just like that comes in, but the moment you know, yes, this is my question, this is what I want to ask Devi Parashakti, this is what I've been waiting for in my life, this is what I want to really experience in my life. When that understanding just bolts in you and strengthens down in you, you will see Devi Parashakti answers. So yes, I sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to add this in where I was able to very beautifully relate with what you were sharing. Yes, Aya, please go ahead.
Perfectly. So just taking upon that what you said, one is so yesterday I'll just go with the real example. Hey, then one of our Sangha person called. Hey, this is you're also putting for 2 days. I'm putting for 2 days. Then he said, "Is it a right question?" Then after half an hour he called. Hey, is it the right question? Then I told him, listen, this is exactly we have to be there. You ask him because within half an hour when he started looking, because he was concentrating that why my question is not answered. I said no problem. Even I felt like that. I thought my wife question answered got faster. I was thinking, what is this equation happening? Is it one Aya was telling very beautifully? Is it that oh God I have not done this, so I have not done this? That is why question is not answered. This is all just a human being. It happens. We are also in that we are maturing that. It's not only a physical attention or something. Swamiji is there in many anchors and many forms. And you know what Swamiji is blessed. Also, we know that all of us know that Swamiji blessings we have. But you know why it has not been answered? Because so I said, you go through it. That next half an hour he came and asked, is it the right question to ask? So I'm just I won't say I'm enjoying, but even this process of preparing, you said very nicely, a preparation for us. A question coming to you is not a joke. Trust, a question is very, very, very important. Question getting arises is not just a word. It's a life coining certain frequency and giving you in form of letters and words. That's become question. Let's give an importance to your question. Let's start respecting your question. Okay, so that happens once. So sometime it will be a question for another's. So that guy says, I'm just asking this question just because of I got pressure of last week from my wife. It happens. Like your wife sometimes says you are worthless. So if you start asking question, am I worth? Obviously, that is a worthless question. It is not just because of your asking, just because of you're asking somebody else's question. So in last 12 years, just suddenly in last 2 months, I started realizing that what Swamiji has done. Swamiji has done one thing externally. He takes my external world mostly out and brought me to internally things. That is exactly a guru does. It's not only he gives what you want, he just cuts off from a simple ice, simple stone, he makes you a linga, So like that, he just sizzled off. Okay, for some of them, sizzled off happened very quickly. For example, Maharaj is there with, in such an environment, he got sizzled fast. Some of devotees, it takes time. Some of the people outside, it takes janmas. That's why. How much we are allowing that Swamiji to do it, that's why. So your question is important. Your question grows because you grow and you get boiled up, like how the egg just get broke and chicken comes out. Like you broke it, that question shell, and when you come out, always as a mother, she is there to hold you, hug you, and just that hug is enough to give you an answer. It's not a word, just it's a hug. Whether it's a Kalabhairava with the teeth, with a little strict angle, he comes and tell you what to be done because you are asking that as a rational adult guy. There is a small kid when you are there. Mother knows with this little shouting and nagging, he gives, but just he drops tears in your eyes.
Exactly.
That's the way he gives. Yeah.
Yes, Aya. Such a beautiful sharing, Aya. And just like how you've been sharing, right? Devi, it's actually even the preparation is what Devi does for us. While we are looking at how Paramashiva manifested so many leelas, Paramashiva did so many leelas, and then how it happened in the life of Nayanmars, and now currently in the life of every one of us, as Paramashiva himself has come down as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Paramashiva and Parashakti manifesting through our beloved Swamiji. How you beautifully shared that it's not that Nayanmars ended with those 64, but Swamiji is actually making each and every one of us as Nayanmars. And it is that space in which that we all can experience and enter into. And just like how you are sharing, right? So even the question, even the entire process is something that is to be enjoyed. So if you're in that frustration that it is not happening and all that, even if Devi answers, you will be like just lost. But when you're in that space of completion and you're like, wow, she has manifested. And when you just enjoy the whole thing, you will see that there is such a beautiful presence. Even the preparation of you, the way Devi prepares you to receive the answer, that itself you will see as a miracle in everything in your life. You will see, wow, everything just perfectly aligned. Devi perfectly created situations so that it gets delayed this way. These people ask me these questions and I get chiseled in the right way. And then I'm asking the best question to Devi Parashakti and it gets answered. So that was a very powerful sharing here. Anything else specifically from your personal experience that you'd like to share, especially from the last Akashic readings that you had? Any personal experience that you'd like to share with all our viewers and participants?
Yes, so that's what this question is getting prepared. Like, as very nicely you said it. We wanted to do something, we wish to do something, and most of the time that just exists as our wish. We need to have Icha Sakti. I mean, to tell you frankly, I'm talking to our Varanasi, Sarvakapida, we know what all the action to be done there and all. And that's an evolving period. Swamiji has told many times, like, what are the things to be done over there. But slow and steadily, even in my mind, I was just getting, clear for that. Rather, that Icha was just growing up in me. So when Swamiji said very clearly, like, of course, he has given the name for that. So that gets more cementified. I don't know, is it a new terminology? So I just thought of coining it and say, like, it's getting cementified and it just say, yes, this should be done and this is the right way to do. This is the next authentic way I should start doing, particularly the Hindu universities. He said, so he was just saying, Artha, Kama, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. What are the 4 things has to be done for our life? So Dharma is you have to live there and create a Kailasa. So Jnana is, of course, he said, Artha, I will give you some business to do that. I'll give you some business which is completely dharmic. Okay, and you can do that, and that's the way the Artha comes. And the Jnana should be creating a Hindu university. I'll share you important. Since you asked me specifically, I just thought of just opening up and tell you, like for a Hindu university, I was trying to do some philosophy studies, so I was trying to catch up with all the universities. That time I was sharing this with Swamiji and other places also. You will not believe, all of us knows Banaras Hindu University is in Varanasi, and that's a great start of Hinduism. With the greater missionaries has been started. Even in that university, today, if I wanted to do some philosophical study, when I start picking up and doing like what is the ecosystem they have, what library, for many purposes I was trying to be in touch with. That time I understand that lot of Hindu haters are sitting in the seat. Swamiji told this many times. Today, all the main seats we are all not sitting. It's all Hindu haters. I practically saw the guy who picked up and say he's neo-Buddhist, and he was very openly, categorically, he said, I'm a anti-Hindu, but he's teaching Hindu philosophies. So all this philosophical teaching has become, in one side we have a Pandit, and other side we have this universities which is teaching this as a, so-called in a mechanical way. That's a state of it. So Swamiji, very nicely, that word I like, Jnana Hindu University. What exactly we are doing, like we are getting from China, Singapore, US, all these places, people come and teaching this Bhava. Which university can teach this? I don't think so. Any university can teach this. Only Swamiji can teach this. So this taking up this from the place of Varanasi would be the, he said Kama. That's what I should wish for it. Honestly, that was my wish. Okay, but I'm just telling you this. This is the status of, so-called universities of Varanasi. Okay, and if you go to the universities like IGNO and other people, are all not even non-Hindus are sitting. Okay, people who are in touch with an academic field and academia would be agreeing with me. What is the way, like today, you non-Hindu and non-Hindu believer sitting in one this university seat and teaching it? That is a pathetic way we are having. That all has to be converted. So that is karma, and that is a moksha for me and my family. That's a greatest blessing I can have it from Swamiji. So I should start working on what is this thing I can make it happen. With, of course, with this blessing, I will surely make it happen. So,
Wonderful.
All this.
Wonderful, Aya. Thank you very much for coming up and sharing, Aya. And just like how you shared, it was a very beautiful intake, and I'm sure that all of our viewers and participants who are watching us live from all across the globe would have been very much benefited, especially your sharings as to how they can prepare themselves for the Akashic readings by Devi Parashakti, and how the questioner gets matured and the question gets matured, and this entire process itself happens by the grace, by the blessings of Devi Parashakti, and that entire process itself is a miracle. So thank you very much, Aya, for joining us today and sharing your experience with all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam. Thank you for your nice interview.
Thank you, Aya. Yes, so we listened from Avimukta Aya. He gave such a beautiful introduction, starting from his background of how he was very rational and not into much of these things, but how once he got connected with Swamiji, how his entire life changed, and how at this point in time, he beautifully shared about how the questioner gets matured, the question gets matured, and that is the best thing that can ever happen to a human being, because ultimately, whatever you seek for in your life is based on the questions that you have in your life. If you think what is the purpose of my life, and if you have the answer as well, then you're going to be running behind well. But the more and more you get matured, and that would be the best thing that you can ask. So instead of asking Devi Parashakti, probably a week ago you would have had a desire of asking maybe something, you would have wanted to ask something to Devi Parashakti. But a week later, after listening to all the various different teachings and various different readings of the Devi Parashakti, sharings from the participants, now your very being itself is matured. So the questioner is matured, and the question itself will be matured. At that point in time, you might have felt a little powerless. Oh, my question is not getting answered yet. And why am I not being able to see Devi Parashakti happening? But understand, by listening to these various miracles that we are actually experiencing here, not only that we are seeing the miracles of all these happening in their life day to day, but we are also seeing how we can prepare ourselves. The moment you understand this, you will see every moment of your life is miracle, and everything is happening by the grace and the blessings of Devi Parashakti as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So now we have one more participant awaiting. We have Harshvardhanaya. And yes, Harshvardhanaya, you can unmute yourself and you can speak. Are we still not able to hear you? Maybe there is some microphone issue, audio issue. Okay, I think Harshvardhanaya can, by the time he fixes that, we could also go a little into understanding about these things. So I would like to recap what all our participants have been sharing. We had multiple different people sharing today, multiple different experiences that they were sharing today, and starting off with understanding various different truths of how we can prepare ourselves for the Akashic readings, how in every one of our life, Devi Parashakti is constantly there manifesting, how will persistence is there needed, how Devi Parashakti is already manifesting in every one of our life, how we can constantly relate with Devi Parashakti by speaking to the Atma Murti, how by waiting and understanding that she's already listening to you, but at the right moment, she will give you the blessings. Understanding that the questioner is getting matured, the questions are getting matured. By these various understandings, by understanding how the miracles of Devi Parashakti, so many people are able to witness in every one of their life. Of course, there are a lot of things that we can share and keep going on and on. But of course, in the interest of time, we are having to move ahead into the further segments. And yes, so I hope that Harshardhanaya, are you able to hear me now and try speaking? Hey, we're still not able to hear you. I think there is still some technical issue, but it's okay. You can take your time to fix it. Yes. Sorry, we're still not able to hear you. Okay. So while Harshardhanaya is actually preparing himself to share, so it's a time that we also understand the further into how we can actually have manifest these miracles in each of our life. In every one of our life, how can we actually receive the grace, the blessings of Devi Parashakti? Now, what is it? From underlying, if you listen to all these various different sharings, we can see that all of them have such deep feeling connection with Devi Parashakti, with Swamiji. How do we inculcate that? What is one of the most powerful methods that Paramashiva has given for us to inculcate, for us to grow that feeling connection, to grow that seeking in us? We'll be looking at it. Yes, Harshardhanaya, you can share. Yes. So I think there is still some technical issues. No issues there. We can fix it and then we can come back on it a little later. So now it is time that we look at the next segment of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, where we get to understand about the various different ways with which we can receive the divine grace, blessings of Devi Parashakti in every one of our life. So please stay tuned for the further segments of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan.
Nithyananda Paramashivam